Hello, Fran. Thank you for joining me as we discuss metabolic balance and, in particular, your journey with doing your own metabolic balance program. And if I'd, I'd love you to share the outcome of what you experienced and what you've achieved from doing your program, which if I reflect back, Fran, we started organising your blood tests about 12 months ago, this time, the end of last year. And the idea was you got the blood test done, you filled out the paperwork, and you wanted to start metabolic balance after Christmas and the New Year, which is exactly where we are now. And I have clients that are going to do exactly the same. But if you can share with me if you tried things in the past and if what were your frustrations with your health when you first came to me?
Mhm. Um, well, I would say my frustrations was like a year prior, I had done some of the intermittent fasting. I had done that for nearly a year, and there was still no shift in my weight or the way I was feeling. I did walking nearly every day, trying to move, but still felt tired. Um, I had a lot of period pain as well, heavy, and just felt sluggish by the end of each day. Even though I was watching what I was eating, I was just working out that it's not necessarily the intermittent fasting or how I'm eating. It was obviously what I was eating as well. So yeah, seeing another friend who'd been on the program, I thought it was worth to inquire and have a look into for sure.
Yeah, and I recall, and I know who you're talking about, a close friend had worked with me in releasing weight, and she was excited about the program. And I guess her results were of interest to you
Mm,
starting the program, wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. And I think it wasn't just her weight loss, it was her mindset, she was a lot more positive. She was happy. She was, talked about her energy. And that's something that appealed to me a lot as well. So, yeah.
And it's not just about the weight loss. It's, I guess, if you enjoy how you're eating, what you're doing as far as achieving your optimal health and weight, and getting the benefits in other ways other than just it showing on the scales.
Mm.
Uh, and that I think attracts a lot of people to metabolic balance. Can you share some of the differences since you've been doing the program and you have been following metabolic balance since January, and we're
Yeah.
now the week out from Christmas? Can you share some of the key diet changes that you've implemented over the year?
Yeah. Well, I think getting the results of what foods work better for me. It was just a matter of organizing myself. I was fortunate I felt I had a large variety available, and probably a lot of vegetables that I probably wasn't eating as much of, which, made me see about the types of foods I need to eat. So, the key changes were the types of foods that I did and also getting myself more organized
Mm, hmm.
for meals. And I don't feel I ever really went without because it was still a very balanced meals. I didn't have a lot of yogurts, and this made me have more yogurt, which I think is probably attributed to, healthier nails and hair and all that kind of stuff as well. Um, but so I made a lot of changes in the types of food I ate and organising myself with the weighing of the foods. Um, I frequently go to farmers markets now and get fresh fruit and vegetables and meats. I probably can taste meats better as well, I think. Like I know when, the chicken tastes, organic chicken as opposed to just store-bought supermarket meats, which I don't touch anymore, just because doesn't taste good. So I changed that around. I would also say weighing your food and portion control was a big thing, and probably some of the key changes that I made, as well as snacking. So snacking was a huge thing. I'd come home from work, I'd start preparing my meal, and I'd be snacking on whatever I was preparing. Whereas now I think I'm a bit more engrossed in what I'm making and how I'm making it, and then I sit down and enjoy it more.
You've certainly made a lot of conscious changes. And as you've outlined, to know what foods are right for your metabolism has been quite a big difference for you, the portion sizes, and then added to that, you've been conscious on the quality of food, getting it from the markets, and to make it all work, preparing and prioritizing your nutrition, essentially, at the end of the day. You being the priority and your health being the priority is a significant thing, instead of, I'll just skip lunch. And then, as you said, you can then know you get home for dinner, but you start snacking because you've missed lunch, and that doesn't help your blood glucose. It doesn't help your energy. And then, as you've learned, sleep is so much better on the program as well. What were the challenges then for you along the way, and how did you overcome them?
I think it wasn't really a challenge. It was probably a challenge to begin with, was to be organised, like I said. And so then my freezer would then be weighed out meats. So it was easy to then think about what to cook. The challenge in the beginning was, these are my foods. Oh my God, what am I going to do? But as I've gotten further into the program, I think you open your mind a bit more about how you can prepare your foods and what you can have. The biggest challenge for me would be the socializing. Was one of the biggest challenges. Not that, you'd catch up with friends and it would always be catching up for breakfast or a meal, or and that made it hard, because I made a goal that in that first 10, 12 weeks, I was going to focus on doing this and doing this properly. But then, catching up with your friends and being with them is important as well. So then I would change catch-ups. Instead of centered around food, I would do coffee catch-ups, or things like that, where it wasn't so much centered around me panicking about what I was going to eat. But that's just because that was the mindset I had at that time. But then as you get further along with the program and you're more comfortable with what your options are, I could then center around, if Fred, wanted to catch up for dinner, yes, we caught up for dinner, and I always knew there was something there that I could have. So it's very hard to do in the beginning, and I think you really got to get your head around it before you start the socializing, and you've got to have a really good support network around you that supports you. And a really good friend that I have would say, no, Fran, let's not go out for dinner. We're just going to, I'll come over and, I bought my meat and she'd bring her meat, and, we'd have it together that way. So having supportive people around you is very important, because it can be very challenging and you can feel a little bit isolated if you don't. And the other challenge would be the drinking, the no drinking, and people around me couldn't understand why I wasn't drinking, but I didn't have a need for drinking, and I wanted to look after myself. So it was good in a way, because then showing them that you don't need to drink to have a good time. I can still come along, we can still have a good time, but yeah, that was a bit of a challenge in the beginning. But like I said, you make yourself a priority and your health a priority, and the rest will come. So that was important.
And I recall in our coaching sessions, the wonderful close friend that you had, she was quite a cheerleader.
Yeah.
It was a little challenge getting your parents who are just so being of your heritage, except that no, you can't have tomatoes because it
Yeah.
wasn't in your program. And surely you need to eat some more.
Yeah.
And I know you really had to work with that.
Yeah.
But you made it work, and you found I guess you found solutions,
Yeah.
and everyone knew what your priority was. So I think they knew that they weren't to try and discourage you, and they were supportive. So
Yeah. And I think too, for my parents especially, they grow a lot of their own vegetables and stuff. That whole idea that my dad, couldn't give me all those vegetables because they weren't on my plan was his biggest struggle, because, I'm growing them for you. And I understood that. But then it was about educating them that what worked for me. And now I go around there and dinner is all the vegetables that I can eat, and just about every one of them's on the menu. So
yeah,
they understand, and they can see that I'm happier, I'm healthier, and it works.
yeah. It's been it at least they've, as you said, they've seen the results, and it was a bit hard for them. But in saying that too, phase two is not forever, because when you're close to your goal weight, foods that are not on your program and in your list, other foods can start coming back into your diet. It's just really to help your metabolism and the right foods for your body, which are selected and in a program, help you get to your health goals. Which leads me to asking you the big question, I guess. Would you like to share what you've achieved through doing your own metabolic balance program?
Yeah, I've lost 35 kilos now, and I've dropped 3 to 4 dress sizes.
Wow.
So that's been really good. And I would say my biggest thing is I have just so much more energy.
Mm.
A lot more energy. I mean, I sleep better. I feel better. I'm a lot more positive, and I mean, I changed a lot in my life as well, and started pursuing what I loved more so than working to work,
Mm.
which changed my outlook for everything. So, um, yeah, it's been very good. Like, my sleep is so much better, and I don't have period pain or any of those issues, which is really good. I had some knee problems, but I don't experience that as much anymore. And I just see things differently. So if I need something at the shop now, I'm not getting in the car and going. I'm getting the bag and off I go, and I walk down there, which is, before I just didn't have the energy to do that.
Right.
So, that kind of thing is good. I spent a lot more time outside.
It has been life-changing for you to have so many improvements in so many areas. The weight has been a terrific side effect,
Mm.
but all of the habits, the healthy habit, they are habits
Mm.
now, because this isn't a diet, it's a way of life. But the habits that have created your health, that have helped you release that weight,
Mm.
it's quite a huge achievement. And as a coach, your coach and
Mm.
practitioner, I'm extremely proud and feel very rewarded having worked with you, Fran. Um, I guess, and then people will ask, what is the value of the coaching? I felt I felt as a coach, you were very independent. You had a lot of self-efficacy and focus and drive. So I felt actually from the coaching perspective, I didn't have a lot of work,
No,
but
you did.
no, I didn't. I think it was just more, I guess I feel like, yeah, it was more reminding you of your achievement and feeling proud and encouraging you and just saying, keep going, keep going. Uh, but perhaps you could mention anything else about the coaching.
Oh, well, for me, it was just like a debrief session as well about my whole life. Like it was, um, I quit my job and I tried something new, and you were really supportive and let me know that I deserve that too. But it wasn't just my life's, but it was also being able to still achieve with this program. And I went away for a weekend very early there in the piece, which I was really worried about, and had this thought that it was just going to make things difficult, and your support there, and no, that's okay, we can make this work. And
Oh,
even that internet, the trip to Bali for those
oh
few
yeah.
days as well was freaking me out with Balinese food. But you were very supportive before I left, and I felt more positive about this would be okay. And it was brilliant. And it didn't affect me any at all in the way I felt, and my loss. But it was just that constant support. I mean, I know in the very beginning as well, when I was doing the phase one, I think I was emailing you all the time.
Oh no, and most people uh, feel the detox really throws them and those symptoms they get from detoxing. So I do, in the beginning, I often see my role as giving probably more support until
Yeah,
my clients really feel like they're developing those habits.
yeah,
But different things come up for different people.
yeah. And your
Uh,
body changes, and the foods you're putting in your body, I don't understand how that works. So it was good to ask you, and you were able to tell me to try these different things, and they did, and they helped me, and they changed the way I do things. So that was very supportive,
oh,
very supportive.
I appreciate your kindness, and thank you for sharing that, Fran.
No,
But I think you have yourself mainly to feel proud of. I would like to ask too, if anyone is considering doing metabolic balance for their health and weight, what advice would you give them?
honestly, I'd just say to be organized, and you can do it. Like it's not that hard. It's not, and the benefits you get will be so much better. But be organized. I think weighing out my proteins and having them in the freezer already and just pulling them out and having the scales. You go on a road trip, bring your scales. You've just got
Yeah.
to just bring that with you and be organized in what you do, um, is very important. And not to lose heart. I think initially I would constantly weigh myself, um, but you have to just, I had to think about the benefits of how I was feeling more so than the weight loss in the beginning. Um, and I think if you look at those benefits, your work, that it's paying off. Um,
Mm.
so that is really important. Just keep at it, and it's just easy. It's just, for me now, it's just a way of life. It's just, I don't snack and I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
I remember the very first time I went to work and I had my little lunch container with my lunch in it, and my boss was like, "Oh shit, is that all you're eating?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, that's all I can have." But now I bring the same thing and I'm full. So
Mm.
it's plenty. It is
Mm.
plenty. You just got to get used to it. And the no snacking, drink your water. It'll pass. It really
Yes.
does. It
Yeah.
really does.
And I know for you, you trusted the process, and you just, because you were continuing to get results, although sometimes it was a bit slower than other times, you just knew that trusting the process was the way to go, and persistence and focus. And you've certainly demonstrated all of that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, it's also like, I know I feel healthier, I feel more energetic, but my skin is better. I don't have breakouts and, stuff like that. Um, it's just in general, I think,
mm, mm.
physically, mentally, it does a lot of benefits. So it's definitely worth it.
And my, I was also going to ask you, how do you feel now compared to starting the program? But I think you've sort of summarized
Mm,
that: the improvements in your energy,
yeah,
the improvements with your sleep, the improvements with your skin, the improvements with hormones and not getting period pain.
yeah,
You're not feeling hungry. Um, the cravings have dropped off. So there's been quite an improvement on so many levels in how you're feeling now to possibly 12 months ago, would you
yeah,
say?
absolutely. And I
Yeah.
do think after Christmas was probably a good time to start, because you do indulge in those things over the Christmas break. So indulge, enjoy, and then just, know it's going to be, when you start, it's going to be for positive results.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
have to, and you've also mentioned that word mindset. You
yeah,
need to be in the right mindset, and your mindset about the program, your health, your goals. You never faltered, Fran. Um, and that's what I noticed. You just kept going. So, congratulations on your incredible achievement.
thanks.
You were just a little bit less than where you wanted to be, but
Yeah, yeah.
but it's still an exceptional result. Uh, so much change for you this year, and you've worked for all of it. Um,
Thank you. With your
Congratulations,
help, thank you.
and I feel very blessed to have worked with you and guided you through the program, and and I'm excited about your future and the life you're going to live the way you do.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much, Fran.
No worries.